Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is SlammerIV. Today I'm very excited to bring you guys yet another exciting Littlewargame replay analysis. This is not one of my games, so I don't know exactly who is the winner here. On the bottom left we have the Mech machine, Rynus, and in the top left, or top right, excuse me, in the blue we have WierdRat on the map Silent Fjords. So I have not seen this replay. This was posted on the Discord channel. So hopefully it's a good match. I'm going to see Rynus go for some kind of... Oh, that's just a scout. It's going to be a 1 workshop expand up against a 1 Rax expand from our blue player, WierdRat. He's going to be going for, it looks like a 1 Raider expand. Interesting building placement. I prefer walling on the bottom side. I also like the fact that the Rax is going to be about 4 or 5 seconds closer for that Raider to walk, because this Raider is going to hit really late. If I'm playing someone like Rynus, I'm not sure. Well, it actually works pretty well. It doesn't make too much of a difference. But he's going to go for, looks like 1 Raider. Actually, he's going to build the 2nd Raider. There's a lot of different variations you can do with this sort of build order. You can even skip the Raider, go for exactly for the castle, and then build that first Raider after castle. You can go 1, 2, even 3 Raiders before castle. It really just depends on how you feel. Again, interesting decision to go for this really fast worker scout. I'm not a big fan, but a lot of players like to do it just for the safety. I find, really, by the time you find anything out, it's a little bit too late to really do anything about it, but that's just my personal opinion. But both players have scouted. Rynus knows exactly what's up, as does WierdRat. The nice thing about this 2nd Raider is it allows him to kill this worker, because if you just had built the castle right away, this worker would have been a little bit more annoying, considering the fact that he wants this Raider to be across map. It looks like he is going to lose the Raider. No, he's not going to lose the Raider. Actually, if Rynus had chased him, I think he would have died because that was a misblink. But he does get away, and really nothing more has happened except the fact that Rynus is down a worker because of that worker scout that got caught. But the Mech player is pretty happy with this. He's totally safe. Bit of misplay here, queuing up the Gatling there. He should be building something instead because he's supply block, but it doesn't make too much of a difference. I prefer to throw the mill down at this timing, but it looks like he prefers to go the advanced workshop instead. So he's going to go for probably some drop play and kind of more of a macro focused and forgo the gyros. This makes a little bit more sense against Rax. Gyros are less useful against Rax as they are against Beast, because archers are just really good anti-air, and your opponent's always going to have archers and may even have drops a little bit faster than Beast will. So gyros tend to be a little bit less useful. So that's why Rynus has decided to go for the advanced workshop there. Excuse me. Now it looks like WierdRat himself is going for the drops there, so he's going to go for probably some fast 2-base drop pressure play. No 3rd base in sight yet. He's just going to continue to mass out some soldiers, archers, and Raiders, and he's going to throw down a forward tower to defend against any kind of 2-base shenanigans that Rynus might be throwing out here. Whereas our red Mech player is just macroing up, continuing to build those catapults. Looks like he's got 2 catapults out, so he's going to prepare for that drop in just a second here. And he continues to scout around with these Gatlings. A nice house placement on the top left there, blocking out any backstabs from the Raiders, etc. So really just solid play, and we already have that 3rd base. So yeah, Rynus is definitely going for this kind of like macro defensive play. He's just going to do some light pressure with the dropship. If you're lucky, that dropship will get some workers, but usually, especially on high level play, this drop is probably not going to do it too much, but at least it'll delay mining time and cause some difficulties for the blue player. Whereas WierdRat is just kind of macroing up behind pretty late 3rd base for him, but he is going to, looks like, interesting blink there, looks like he's going to get a, doesn't actually get any, misclick from Rynus, unfortunately. That was almost a perfect play, and then while this is going on, looks like some really good damage coming in from these catapults. That was probably 2 or 3 workers killed. I didn't see exactly how many, but on the flip side, Rynus does trade out 2 lost Gatlings there, so... But he's pretty okay with that. 3rd base, that's strange. That's going to delay mining, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure why he places that there. But, whatever. Yeah, our blue player looks like he lost on the order of 4 to 5 workers. Let's see, 4 workers from this drop. And Rynus has continued to delay a lot of mining time, and it looks like he might get a little bit unlucky not to get another kill somewhere in there. Ooh, looks like he gets one more. So he's up to 5 kills on his drop, but he does lose it to the archers. Good micro there to get the catapult off, so he's at least going to delay some more mining time and cause a little bit more annoyance for at least a little bit with that drop. So really a good drop from Rynus, and he's way ahead in workers. I mean, 27. He's up 10 workers and a base, so I feel like WierdRat is just not macroing as cleanly as he should be here. Third base should be going down way sooner, especially when you're playing against Mech. I think you have to get that third base up a lot faster because you need to be able to overwhelm Mech with a gold advantage. You don't really want to be on the same gold counts as Mech, or even behind. I mean, if you're behind against Mech, like, I mean, you might as well just pack it in now. It looks pretty grim for our blue Rax player here. Now he does have this drop here, and this drop can do a lot of damage because there's really nothing at home for Rynus. He's throwing down his production now. I'd love if he just peeled off a couple workers to the other base too. Now, of course, Archer's targeting a ballast are not doing anything, so not great micro so far from WierdRat. He's going to start picking off a couple workers, but he needs to kill a lot of workers to make this useful. It's going to be surprising if he gets that much kill considering the situation here. Of course, these soldiers are in a really nice position, and these archers are adding their DPS behind, so starting to really add up that damage. Only problem is it looks like, oh, a nice snipe there from WierdRat. He picks off a full dropship. Couple of Gatlings doing some harass damage in the south area, but this drop is doing so much damage. I'm not sure exactly where Rynus' Gats are because they need to be out right now. This soldier does pick off a couple more workers, but behind it feels like WierdRat's just not macroing his workers as much as he should. He's got 500 gold. Like, this is disaster level gold banks from our blue Rax player because he's only at 17 workers still. So a bit of a misplay from him. He's not able to DPS down this Gatling because of the workers around. He should be targeting workers instead, but he's forced to pull off. So good damage. I think he got 5 or 6 workers here, WierdRat, but it's really not enough because Rynus already has all the workers he really needs. He's on 3 bases. He's up against a 19 worker economy with you know, idle workers all over the place. So pretty sloppy from our Rax player, unfortunately. Probably trying to micro this drop and not paying attention to his economy. Which is pretty unfortunate because he needs to get this stuff working, and he's not. So major advantage for our Mech player here. Maybe a couple workers can get picked off. Obviously, this is really awkward and bad SimCity from Rynus, but you know, whatever. Doesn't really matter all that much. And I mean, WierdRat is doing some fun little micro behind here. I mean, he's slowly getting his economy into a semi-reasonable position, but he's so far behind in gold. It's gonna be really tough to see. Looks like he actually gets out with 2 archers and a soldier. That would be pretty insane if he actually runs away. Looks like he's going to get out. And actually, this dropship can probably get picked off if he drops these archers in the right position. This drop will die. But it looks like he just wants to get the counter damage going. Yeah, the only thing I'm seeing with Rynus is he's adding on workers, so that's good. He's really getting his economy into position. And this is that's funny that he actually got the snipe there with that dropship. Really, that shouldn't happen, but whatever. Archers are here. They're going to pick off a couple more workers. Of course, with the catapults, though, he really needs to go to the main, which I think he's going to do in a second. It's unlucky that WierdRat didn't pick off that dropship, because that would have really caused some major trouble. I'm not sure why he's just shooting at a workshop with his archers. Feels pretty wasteful, but in general, he needs to be so careful with this drop. He's going to lose it to archers if WierdRat just drops. Hello? Hello? Archers? There you go. So now he gets that picked off and he escapes. Not as useful. If he had picked it off and then gotten to the main base, that would have been a lot more useful. I feel like we don't have speed on the Gats, which is a pretty major mistake this late in the game, especially when he's that Gat heavy. Interesting that WierdRat has kind of got his economy into a semi-reasonable position. He's still, you know, missing on the order of 6 or 7 workers for each base, and he really should be getting his 4th base. His 4th base feels really late at this point. Also, Rynus' 4th base feels really late. I'm not sure why he doesn't have that down. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I'm silly. He has it down. So this is good timings from him. Single catapult drop coming in here. Does he have +1? I think he does. Yeah, he has +1, so now he'll be 2-shotting workers with this drop. which is really good. So he can drop right here and really start doing some good damage. Wow, that's a long-range tower. I didn't think that tower could reach all the way back there, but it can apparently. This ballista is gonna do good work to stop that. And if you can just kill that, that'll be good. I do like the way that WierdRat is focusing on the drops here. I think that's what he has to do. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have the army. Like, if once Rynus walks out on the map, I mean, you look at the supply. It's 100 supply of mech against 80 of racks. It's just really bad. We even have some unbelievably gnarly supply blocks. What do we have going on here? 80 of 80. That's super rough, dude. And he doesn't even have houses on the way. Like, he's just camping on a supply block. Like, this is disaster mode from our blue racks player. Not a clean game at all. But he is going to try to do a little bit of damage on this side of the map, pick up a couple workers here and there, not that it really matters. He needs to be careful spending these units too. I guess it frees up his supply block, which is something. Alright, we've got another Gatling hit squad from Rynus pushing in from the bottom side. I like this little skirmish group from WierdRat. I mean, it's a little bit risky because these Gats could just walk over and kill you, so he has to be careful doing that. But also no upgrades from our blue racks player. I mean, he's really far behind, but he's even floating. Like, when you're this far behind, you got to play like perfectly in order to have a chance at winning. And I feel like WierdRat is not playing perfectly right now. So I don't expect he'll have much of a hope to win this type of engagement. I mean, even this engagement is just disaster mode. I think for these type of situations, he's a little too soldier heavy. You want to be dropping your soldiers and just kiting with the archers is how you want to take these engagements. So this one right here is just a little bit sloppy on his part. So yeah, it's really just a matter of when does Rynus decide that he's had enough of this game and wants to walk across the map and win. There's really no way for WierdRat to defend a dedicated mech push here. He does have the 4th base up and running, which is something. But like, there's just no path to victory right now, unless he gets just a really great drop on top of catapults and like just cleans up an engagement. But he's also so far behind in upgrades. Like, I think he's probably what, 2 upgrades behind. Catapults are dropping, doing some good execution in the back. I don't think he has. Yeah, he should be getting his ballista there to counter that. That's happening in a second. But these catapults do get cleaned up. But at this point, I mean, there's not a whole lot to do. There's so much mech force. I think Rynus has finally decided to win the game here. Maybe. Looks like he's decided to win the game. And there's really no way I see that this force gets stopped. There's just too much going on here from this mech force. 35 workers to 52. Really good economy. I would like to see more workers brought with this push to repair, but I mean, he's so far ahead it doesn't really matter. Dropping some cattle chops should be good to block out the protect his catapults. He has to be a little bit careful from archer kiting. Like, there's some things that WierdRat can do using the high ground here, and he's doing a good job like blocking out with the soldiers and then DPSing down with the archers on the top. So he actually might hold this surprisingly, because again, it's that high ground makes it pretty tough for the mech to push into. But now that WierdRat's stepping down and is not kiting back, he's taking every time he should be kiting back after every shot, so he's not taking any catapult fire. And he can hold this high ground with the vision. If he focuses down the airship, that's what he should be doing right now. Focus down the airship. Oh, but now he's allowed Rynus to kind of get up on top. Does kill the airship there. So every time Rynus has to step back, it's really bad for him because there's no vision. So his units kind of start getting kited and killed. I'm pretty impressed that WierdRat actually held this. Honestly, he was down upgrades. Actually, no, he's got plus 2 already on. Okay, my mistake. I didn't realize he got plus 2 there somewhere. He needs to get these. Oh, that's terrible. He's got so much worker saturation on there. I mean, if WierdRat pulls out this game, that'd be incredibly impressive because he's so far behind. But that engagement was beautiful, and actually the supplies have sort of evened out. Which, when you're playing mech, you don't want to lose that many units. Just kind of a sloppy engage from Rynus. Like, he didn't really have to go up that ramp. I would have preferred if he pushed left and built towers and got workers. One thing that I find that you have to think about when you're playing mech versus racks is you got to be less pushy than when you're playing against Beast. When you're playing against Beast, you can really get away with pushing hardcore mode because, like, you want to get in the face of Beast units. Beast units are not happy when you're pushing them hard. But racks units, you got to be a little more careful because when you're like just walking into soldiers and archer DPS, like, you can get killed really fast. if you don't have the towers and the worker support and everything that you need to kind of stay alive. So I think Rynus just got, I mean, Rynus knew he's really, really far ahead, so he thought he could just walk up that ramp and win, but it turns out he didn't really have the units to do it. I'm surprised we don't have more archers. I feel like we need archers here, but I would say dropping soldiers is great. He needs more dropships, and he just needs a nice backbone of archers. I really like to get range of my archers in this kind of situation, so that they're even better at kiting back. And the archers, just adding that DPS, will just cut through Gatlings really well, because, like, think about it. If you've got catapults and then Gatlings and then archers, the archers will kill the Gatlings and the catapults can't really protect the Gats. So it makes it hard for the mech player to really micro everything. And if he has no Gatlings, then your soldiers kind of drop on top and do some pain. So you can kind of see here, like, pretty decent play from WierdRat here with the dropships. He's picking off units, doing damage. I'd love to see him get that 5th base. He needs that 5th base up, which is what we see Rynus doing. Keep staying ahead, not allowing his opponent to catch up with him on base count there, as he's getting that 5th base and he's got all the economy he needs. One thing that we are seeing, though, is I think Rynus needs to get more workers into the battle here. He's got 64, which is fine as mech, as long as you're using those workers to fight, right? Like, workers just sitting here like this is pretty useless. He needs those workers in the battle, right? But in general, good macro from Rynus. You can see that even though he's been making more gold, he's actually been spending better than WierdRat, which is part of the reason he's winning. Like, not only does he have the better economy, right, he's also macroing better. So, and he's finally starting to get, like, towers in position on the map, and he's secured this bottom right side, which if he can shears like this half of the map, like, that's really, really good. And that's just kind of a winning position for our mech player. Good drop again from our Rax player. I mean, these are +2 soldiers. Are going to do some good work. I'd love to see a couple more upgrades. Obviously, I would say a couple armor upgrades would be nice to help these soldiers out, particularly against things like workers. But in general, good play all around from these drops. Drops are really the death of mech. If you can drop a lot, you can just win. But it's going to really come down to whether Rynus can pull out another push. I mean, this game has gone longer than it really should have. It should have been over pretty soon. But Rynus has kind of learned from his previous mistake there, and it looks like he wants to be a little safer. Pretty nice. Now, this is a good position because, again, if WierdRat can use his archers to kite up top and use this high ground and just kind of kite back, he can probably take a good engagement. He's not microing as well as he could be here. This is bad. This is wrong play. So you don't want to walk your archers. Let's talk about this for a second, because this is something I see a lot of people do, and it's not good. You don't want to walk archers into catapult fire because you think you're getting it within, like, minimum range, but in these big engagements, it doesn't really help, and these gats will just chew you up. What you want to do is just keep kiting back. Just keep kiting back. Like, be patient about it. If you want to walk soldiers or raiders in close, that's totally fine, but never walk your archers into the face of catapults. You're just gonna die. It's never right. Like, he could have easily, think with catapults, they're scary, right? But they don't actually do damage if they miss you. So you can actually kite, especially if you get range, you can actually kite catapults really easily from range, and you can pick off things like workers and gats, which are pretty low HP units. And as you kind of, like, whittle that army down, it's really helpful later. But just walking, like, 20 supply of archers into your death is just disaster mode. Like, never do that. That's exactly what you don't want to do. And our blue player really can't afford to do that at all. Like, that was a huge army he just lost there. I mean, that's the danger against mech, is they can just delete your army in just seconds. And he just needs to give up this position. There's not even any point in fighting here. Like, this is nice and all, this drop, but, like, he doesn't have the units to take this fight. So he really shouldn't even be taking it. He's going to kill a couple catapults, which is nice. Looks like maybe 2. But, like, there's just not enough racks here to deal with this. And again, like, dropping archers here is just kind of ridiculous, because they get 2-shot by catapults, so it's like they don't have the sustain or the DPS to really take these fights. And once the gats are in position too, it's just disaster mode for racks. So I think that's going to be the game right there. Slowly you can see Rynus is just constricting the map here. He's got this catapult force that's just unstoppable. Looks like he's got +5 on his +5, +2, so his upgrades are ridiculously good. And yeah, just a couple. I think Rynus actually had a bit of a shot late in that game, but he messed up the engagement pretty hardcore, and that's gonna be GG there. Nice game from Rynus there, just good constricting mech. I would say just in general, battle build order, choices put him ahead there with that faster third base was good. The drop, you know, did decent-ish damage, and from there he just walked away with the game. There's really no hope for WierdRat. He played some decent mid-game here, our Rax player, but kind of fell off in the late game and just fell off in macro as well. So now it's just a matter of waiting until Rynus decides to win the game. Looks like we're going to have maybe one last engagement here, but, I mean, there's nothing here. There's not enough units to even trouble the Mech forces here. I mean, these Gatlings alone are probably just going to walk through and win everything. So, hope you guys enjoyed that video. This was a pretty fun little match. Just randomly picked it from the Discord here. Pretty fun. I've been kind of showcasing a good amount of Mech versus Rax on the channel, so might get back to some more standard mashups in a second here, but for now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think it was pretty cool to see some more high-level Mech, and this is a kind of a different style of Mech, not as much pushing, but just general grinding out Mech play from Rynus there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I will catch you all next time.